everybody. I'm going to keep these videos rolling right now because I believe I'm on a roll. Obviously, another matchup I have on this main card. Actually, no, it's not going to be on the main card. It's going to be the featured prelim. This is Andre Arlovski, UFC legend, future Hall of Famer, former UFC heavyweight champion, 30-19 right now, which is his record, versus the Englishman, the newcomer, Tom Aspinall, with a 9-2 record, fighting out of England. This is another old school versus new school matchup that we have inside of the UFC. And yes, this is the featured prelim. Tom Aspinall, only with 2 fights in the UFC, going into his 3rd fight, he's already headlining a prelim. The UFC knows that there's a lot of upside in Tom Aspinall. His last 2 fights have been finishes in the 1st round. So this man is on a roll. And if you've seen Tom Aspinall, he looks exactly just like Frank Mir. But is he better than Frank Mir? I believe so. This guy, fighting out of Liverpool, England, he's in the same training camp as Darren Till and Frank Grundy. He's got all these different guys in his camp. And that Team Kaboom over there in Liverpool, it's the real deal. They've been able to pump out a great amount of fighters into the UFC already as we speak. So obviously, both of these men are very similar. They're very similar in height, and they're very similar when it comes to their reach as well. I believe Tom Aspinall is about 77 inches, and then Andre Arlovski is 77. Or it might be vice versa, 78, 77 inches right there. But like I said, both of them are very, very similar. So Tom Aspinall definitely got the matchup that he wanted. He obviously wanted Sergey Spivak because they were supposed to fight each other a couple times in the UFC, but those 2 times actually didn't pan out the way that they were supposed to. So obviously, his last 2 fights were 1st-round knockouts, and now he's coming in against Andre Arlovski, like I said, former UFC heavyweight champion, future Hall of Famer, 38-19 record. He's faced the who's who in the whole entire division of the UFC heavyweight division. And now he's facing this young guy, obviously with a lot of upside on him, with the whole entire country on his shoulders. Liverpool is a city that has produced many fighters in the past. I'm not just talking about MMA, but I'm also talking about boxing. And if there's one thing about Tom Aspinall, is that he can also do it on the ground as well as on the feet. Since we've been able to see him knock out guys on the feet, this last fight, it obviously ended in the 1st round via ground and pound. So he can put a lot of the work on the feet. His BJJ is most likely unprecedented, as a lot of people would probably think, because obviously he's knocking out these guys pretty fast in the 1st round. How is he going to do against a well-seasoned veteran such as Andre Arlovski out of Belarus? Obviously, Andre's fighting everybody. He's been up and down lately with the UFC. His career is kind of dwindling down as we speak. He's definitely going to retire soon, even though he doesn't want to. He's one of those fighters that wants to keep on driving the car, keep on working until the wheels fall off. And I believe Tom Aspinall is going to deliver a pretty spectacular performance coming into Saturday night. Hopefully, no more of these fights are going to get canceled. None of them have been canceled so far. So far, so good. Very happy about that. But this is one of the fights I'm definitely interested in the most. I believe that the fight is going to start out in the stand-up primarily. I don't think anyone's going to go in for a takedown. Andre Arlovski is the type of individual that likes to keep it on his feet. He's not the type of individual that likes to go down for the takedowns that much. He's a brawler. Obviously, you could see that from his last couple of fights as well. He likes the brawl, but he also keeps his chin up there in the air, ready for it to be knocked out. That happened against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Obviously, he was trying to strap with Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who is a very seasoned, well-known kickboxer, and Jairzinho just pieced him up. Every single time that Arlovski got into his range, he was able to just throw in a nice right hand and drop Andre. And I believe he dropped Andre 2 times before completely knocking him out. So obviously, Tom Aspinall, the chances of him getting a KO victory are definitely more than 80%, just because of the power that he has in both of his hands. He can definitely work it really well with the leg kicks as well. He can take it low, he can take it high. And like I said, if he takes you down to the ground, expect there to be a lot of heavy ground and pound having a heavy individual on top of you just like that will make it that much harder for you to get back up. That's the only thing that really blows about being a heavyweight. When you're on the ground, it's very difficult for you to get back up. So obviously, no matter where it goes, I believe that Tom Aspinall is going to win this fight. It's just another new old school versus new school, and the new generation coming in here and putting a name on themselves for a lot of individuals out there to be on alert, especially when it comes to not just them, but Tom Aspinall, because he could be facing some of these top heavyweight guys in the very near future. 2021 could very much be his year to crack into that top 8 or so in the rankings if he keeps on putting in the work that he's been putting in lately. Andre Arlovski, if he wants to win this, he's got to take it down to the ground, because I don't believe that he has the power to be able to knock out Tom Aspinall. I don't believe that his style is going to match up very well against his. So if I were him, I'd take it down to the ground, try to get a takedown in there. No matter how he can be able to do it, whether it's a single leg, a double leg, where he's got the body lock against the fence and he trips him, whether he goes in for an Imanari roll, whether he tries to go in there for an ankle pick, anything will work if he tried to take Tom Aspinall down, because he hasn't really been in those type of deep waters yet. No one's been on top of him lately when it comes to his fights in the UFC, because they've primarily been on the feet, and he's just been taking care of these guys and getting them out of there pretty fast. So obviously, Andre Arlovski, his method of victory, his greatest chances of victory if he takes it down to the ground, because I don't think he has enough power to knock out Tom Aspinall, and I don't believe his chin will be able to hold up if he stays on the feet with them either. So if he takes it to the ground and see if he can be able to soften them up a little bit with some ground and pound, or definitely just try transitioning into a couple positions, whether it's side mount, whether it's north-south, full mount, half mount, you name it. Anything that can be able to free him up to be able to get some ground and pound in there. Definitely kind of fluster him to make sure he's never been in that type of situation before. Like I said, he's only had about 2 or 3 losses, and he's never had a loss in the UFC yet. This is definitely the toughest test that Tom Aspinall has had to face, but he will be ready. Like I said, his training partner is Darren Till, the gorilla himself. So I believe that Tom Aspinall is going to go in there first round KO, just like as I predicted in the last video with Alexei Oleinik and Chris Daukaus. This is going to be an easy now for him, and this is going to be his coming out party. He's going to show the world why he's the real deal and why he deserves to be in the elite conversation with the UFC. He's also a very calm individual. He doesn't talk crap, and he just goes in there, he does his job, and he asks for the next opponent, whether it's a very good opponent or not. He's not trying to rush things. So obviously, Tom Aspinall, another name to watch out in that UFC heavyweight division. Appreciate you guys for watching this video. If you guys want to keep on watching more, or you guys are interested in a couple more fights, drop some comments down in that comment section, and I will make some future videos. Appreciate you guys for watching. Stay safe, stay blessed. Talk to you guys later.